This movie was so dang weird, and I'm kind of pissed off about it. Don't ask me what that was about. Alright, so I just saw Megalopolis. Let's talk about it. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, stars, oh my gosh, everybody. Adam Driver, Natalie Emmanuel, Giancarlo Esposito, Shia LaBeouf, Aubrey Plaza, Dustin Hoffman, Jason Schwartzman, Grace Vanderwall, Catherine Hunter, and a whole bunch of other people. I can understand the appeal, the decision-making process behind saying yes to this project. I mean, to say that you starred in a movie directed by the man who created The Godfather, understandably so, but at the same time, that was a hot, convoluted mess. This is supposed to be a fable of sorts. So the city is called New Rome, which was New York City. It's supposed to be this modern America, kind of a Roman epic inspired picture. You have Caesar Catalina, played by Adam Driver, who is an artist who has won the Nobel Prize for the creation or discovery of this material called Megalon, which they don't really go into a whole lot of detail explaining what it is exactly, other than you can do a whole lot with it, apparently, including building cities and healing bones and whatnot. And then you have this mayor, Franklin Cicero, who is... So it's a battle between these two men and these two minds and these two mindsets. So you have Caesar Catalina, who is wanting to move forward and progress and build something new. He has this idea of a utopia of sorts. And then you have Franklin Cicero, who wants things to somewhat stay as they are. He likes the status quo. So these two men are at odds. Cross-generational in a way, because you have this old head in Franklin Cicero and then this, young visionary in Caesar Catalina. And between them is this woman named Julia, who is Franklin's daughter and the woman that he falls in love with, who brings a little bit of humanity to the story, because this movie, I guess, is supposed to be kind of, in a sense, pushed and led by these two men. It's a hot mess. God, there was so much going on. I don't understand what the point of that was. There was just a whole lot going on. It's supposed to be a fable, which means there's a moral to all of this. I don't really know what this film was trying to say. Are we talking about greed, excess, covetousness, jealousy, rage, like revenge? What's the moral of the story here? Caesar Catalina also has the ability to stop time with this material he has called Megalon. But the problem is, the first thing that we really see in this movie is his ability to stop time, but we don't revisit it enough. We don't really get an explanation or even a visual of his relationship with this material, how it's changed his life, and how it's made him into the man that he's become. We have this first shot of him stopping time, and we revisit it a couple of times throughout the film, but not nearly enough. Like, why would you give us this big thing at the very beginning and not expand on it and not build on that and show how this plays into this man's ups and downs and even part of his downfall? Like, why would you give us something so magnanimous and not build on it? So yeah, the story is a hot, convoluted mess. It's just all over the place. It's not very coherent. It's messy eggs. I said this about the last Fantastic Beasts movie, Messy Eggs. Messy Eggs is something that I like to make for breakfast in the morning because I can't make an omelet. Can't do it to save my life. I attempt to make an omelet. So I have all the ingredients for which I would put in said omelet and attempt to make the omelet, but it falls apart and it ends up just being messy eggs. So what I intended it to be is not what happens. However, it's still edible. So this movie obviously has a goal in mind and what it wants to be. It doesn't quite reach that. However, in spite of all of that, it's edible. I feel like if no one spoke in this movie and they just let the music kind of play, the music's gorgeous, by the way. I love the score. And they just kind of let the images kind of speak. I felt like this would have been a much better movie because the film's gorgeous. Visually, it's stunning. If I say, what's the reason for you to buy a ticket? I mean, just to see the visuals on screen, I think, is reason enough. It's very extravagant, very outrageous, almost unbelievably so. Some of the CGI, you can tell it's CGI, but I think that's kind of part of it. It's supposed to look unreal. So visually, this is extraordinary. It's just, as a narrative, it's structureless. if the narrative had had a structure in conjunction with the incredible visuals, my God, this would have been an incredible masterpiece for him. A great way to kind of bow out. He sold his winery for this. Like, he spent $120 million of his own money to fund the project. And it's been an uphill battle ever since. They were able to premiere the thing in France. He struggled to get a distributor. There was some controversy, some scandalous things about the way he was on set. Was he appropriate? Was he inappropriate? And all this jazz. Finally got a distributor out of Lionsgate. I can't believe they took that plunge. But then again, it's his own money. $120 million. So I imagine this is not much of a loss for Lionsgate. I don't think the movie's going to do very well. The marketing for this has just been not very good. It's been weird marketing. But then again, part of the deal with Lionsgate is that he would fund the marketing himself. So whatever. But yeah, it's a convoluted mess of a movie. Visually, it's stunning. The performances are all just fine. I don't even know what this movie is rated. It's very sweet in a sense in terms of the visuals and the relationships between people, and then we get towards that third act where it's just a little sexually explicit for no reason. I think we're supposed to see kind of this turn in the plot where our femme fatale, there's almost a film noir quality to this. It felt like for a minute he was trying to go old Hollywood. There's a bit of an homage to Alfred Hitchcock. There's two of them. There's a mention of Alfred Hitchcock in the movie in like a newspaper article, and then the zoom dolly at the very beginning, very reminiscent of the shot from Vertigo. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So it felt like he was trying to go a little old Hollywood with this, but also kind of play into this futuristic Roman epic. I wanted to like this more than I did. I found myself a little bored, but also kind of engaged. There really is, I'm trying to figure out what else I could possibly say. It's a convoluted narrative mess, but it's visually stunning. It's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Loaded cast. None of them make any sense together. Like, why are all of you here? Jon Voight is in this. I just wish I got the message. I felt like if the narrative had some meat to it, whatever it was he was trying to say, that message would have been clearer. But clearly there was a lesson to be learned here. He just didn't teach it very well.